Hello and welcome to the Real-Esteem podcast. Today is February the 7th, 2018. I'm your host, Patrick Tabor. And today on the marriage edition, we're just going to figure out, how do we talk to our spouse? How do you talk to your wife? How do you speak to your husband? I think it's very important how you see them that helps determine how you talk to them. Some husbands talk down to their wives. Some wives talk down to their husbands, even unknowingly. And I think that's sad, because if you don't know how you speak to your spouse, you really don't know how much damage you could be doing to your relationship. The first thing you have to do is you have to truly see your spouse as they are, in the light that God may see them. You have to find the good in them, and you have to lift that up. That has to be priority to you. You have to see what's in them, what God has built them for, what He has designed them to do, what He's created them to complete. And then you have to make sure that you lift that up, that you speak highly of them, and you bring them to their face. I mean, you're literally doing this for them also. In Psalms 37 and 23, it says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and He delighteth in His way." Well, if you have a good man, which I hope you do, then you should tell him that he's good. Not because it's the right thing to do, but because you actually believe it. Proverbs 19 and 14 says, "House and wealth are inherited from fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord." A woman who sees things and is able to tell you about the future, being able to tell you things that we need to watch out for and being concerned, is a good thing. It's from the Lord. If you really can listen intently to what they're saying, regardless, you have to find out what is in your spouse. That's your job. That will help you know how to talk to them. Now, Ephesians 4 and 29 says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." Now, I'm not saying you can never have fun and joke around with each other. You should be best friends. So I hope that that's something you would do. I hope that that's something that will enhance your marriage. But when you get to the point where you're putting your spouse down, or you're talking down to them, or you're belittling them, or you never think their opinion or their idea is good enough unless you put your stamp on it, then there's a problem. And you're not going to be able to maintain that marriage very long, much less that friendship, which is really what you should have, if you are putting the person down. So when I made the subject for this, let's talk, I'm really saying, when you get with your spouse and you talk about different things, be very intentional and conscious about how you speak to your spouse. It's important. You wouldn't stand before a judge and show disrespect because you may be in contempt, and he or she may lock you up. So why would you treat your husband or your wife with less respect than you would give a judge? If you are standing before a police officer, you should give that officer some respect because he is an officer of the law, and you don't want him to lock you up. Why would you treat your husband or your wife with less respect than you would a police officer? I could go on with this list of how sometimes we reverence or give more respect to people outside of our homes, but the people in our homes who we're trying to build and help and encourage and lift up and trying to bring them into their destiny and help them with their call. How can we do that if we're belittling or putting them down? Make sure that you say as many good things in your home, if not more, than you do outside of your home. So take time to think about your words. Be intentional. Love your family, especially your spouse. They are the key to keeping your house in order. Without that order, everything's going to fall apart. So you'll need to really take God at His word. when he says, let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those that hear. Remember, your family hears more of what you say than what other people hear. When you're not speaking life into them, you are not feeding them. So make sure you turn that thing around. If it is wrong, if you're not speaking correctly, if you are not encouraging enough, turn that thing around. Repent means to turn the opposite direction and go in that direction. Let's make sure we do that in our homes, especially when we're talking to our spouses. All right, I hope you got something out of this today. Be blessed. Grace and peace.